Hi everyone, and welcome to Comics from the Multiverse. This is the DC Comics podcast from the Multiverse Network. I'm Pierre, and I'm joined as always with Matt.
Yeah, brightest day, blackest night, all that jazz.
And the ginger here, escaped from the Speed Force once again. Connor's here.
I've made it yet again.
Yes. We'll be here next week though, because he's moving house and
Yep.
is doing without internet, despite assuring me for months that it wouldn't be an issue.
Aye.
Yeah. Not actually an issue for this podcast that much, because Matt's still here. It's the TV
Yeah.
stuff
It's
that's
just everything
affected.
else. Yeah.
There's everything else, yes. Anyway, comics and all that stuff. We had a lot of stuff this week. I think we had 9 books this week.
9.
Yeah, 9. Nine's the new 6.
DC's killing my wallet, man. I have $45 worth of books this week.
Do you know what's really
It's
bad as
DC.
well? Fucking Brexit drove up my prices this week. My comics went up 50p an issue, like each.
Good lord.
50. That's like.
So all you Americans listening to this, let's use it as a lesson, because my comics go up because you voted for the wrong jerk. And let me just say, I feel both of them are jerks. You vote for the wrong one, and my comics go up, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah, I wasn't happy when I went into the shop and they were like that much more a week later. I was like, God damn it.
Oh well. But we had some new books this week. We had Batgirl issue 1, and we had Red Hood and the Outlaws Rebirth issue 1. As well as we'll also be discussing Detective Comics 937, Action Comics 960, Wonder Woman issue 3, The Flash issue 3, Hal Jordan, The Green Lantern Corps issue 1, Nightwing issue 1, and Titans issue 1. That's all coming up on this week's show.
Yep.
So, without further ado, let's get into it. Going to start with the new stuff, and that's starting with Batgirl issue 1, which is written by Hope Larson and art by Rafael Albuquerque. So, we were looking forward to this.
Yep.
It's safe to say. I liked it a lot. I think one of my concerns get into this. Now, I had no preconception of Hope Larson. I've never...
I read, what was the thing? Started a couple of months ago. Got Goldie Vance? Something like that.
It left an impression on you because you...
I read
Yeah,
the first issue, and it was actually it was pretty good, but I just didn't get around to going back to the next one yet.
Okay.
But it was pretty good.
I mean, it's fair enough that me and Matt don't know what it is because we never read it, but...
Yeah, I remember talking about her when we did our Rebirth, the first episode, or episode 0, whatever it was.
Yeah, the
You know.
WonderCon, yeah.
Yeah, so, and I remember she does, like, super independent, not super independent, but really independent stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's what this
it's
was.
good they've brought her into the fold to write superheroes.
Yeah, so I had no idea sort of what to expect from her. Obviously, Albuquerque, read a lot of American Vampire and various other things.
It's good to have an Albuquerque Batgirl cover that doesn't cause a stir. So that
That's
much.
a good point.
Let's not get into that controversy.
Oh
shall
no,
we?
I'm just saying
Yeah.
it was. I had friends that said they would never read Albuquerque again because of that thing, and I'm just
Well-
glad that he's on a full-time book.
Well, those people are missing out on some fantastic
That's-
storytelling. So
Exactly, because the art in this book, not trying to dive ahead too far, but the art was strong.
Yeah, no, the art's great. It's incredibly consistent. Everything sort of pops. I don't think, like, Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, almost the entire issue is either smiling or smirking or... and I enjoyed Batgirl and the Birds of Prey last week. I really did. The art was a big issue, obviously. The art's the thing that jumps up dramatically here. But, like, in that issue, I had a constant problem with the mouths looking weird. Like, that was my main
Yeah.
hang-up. And then this week, Albuquerque, like, constantly, the mouth was on point. Normally, I don't pay that much attention, but because last week, the mouth in the previous Batgirl book was kind of weird, this week I was like, this is some quality mouth work right here. There's smirking, there's smiling, there's all sorts. So, there's pondering. I'm looking at a pondering page right now. She's pondering. She's like, what shall I have for dinner? That's not exactly what she's saying, although she does want food in about a minute after that. But,
Yeah,
so I'm praising the mouth work.
I mean,
yeah.
it's the small subtleties that make it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It does, and Albuquerque nails expressions.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned from reading his other works is always reading American Vampire. Him and Snyder would work together, and you would know exactly what those characters were thinking, even without the dialogue or anything.
You know, I'm looking at the page right now where her stomach rumbles. Which, by the way,
Yep.
I love that Batgirl gets hungry and wants to chow down.
Yep. Although
Nothing's...
her choice in food in this issue is a bit questionable
Oh,
for
well,
me.
yeah, she's
Really?
yeah.
Well,
Oh.
I'm not a sushi guy, or I mean,
You're not down for some octopus?
nah,
God, no.
nah.
So I've never had octopus, but squid's pretty damn good. So I mean,
Yeah, but everyone who loves
They're
squid
good.
always says why they like calamari, and of course it tastes good. It's fried.
oh no, I mean like squid chunks, like in like paella and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, you're never getting me to try squid either. So
oh, squid's damn good.
no, I am not approving of her choice, but nothing's more
So-
endearing than a girl who wants to chow down. So but no, art's very good. I think the tone's great. I think one of the obviously the thing we didn't like. Well, at least me and Matt didn't like. You were into a little bit more of it, Connor, I think. But what we didn't like about the last Batgirl sort of run, you know, the whole Burnside thing, was they made her too juvenile sounding, I think,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
as well as
A
all
little
the
too hip.
and a little too you hit with the text stuff like, you know, QR codes, constant face page or whatever they were calling their Facebook, and Blitter or whatever they were calling Twitter. You know, like, they had their fake versions of everything that they were constantly dropping.
They had their Instagram that was very, very featured.
Yeah, well, all that's happily gone. I mean, I'm not saying she never uses her phone. I mean, she should. She's a tech wizard. She's, you know, she's Oracle. She's
Well, yeah, she has a company now. It's what is it, Gordon Clean Energy or something?
Yeah.
Which I thought was weird, having not kept up to date with what was going on. But you know, she should still keep tech
yeah.
relevant. But I
Well-
do like that they're not using it as a crutch, how it seemed last time.
No, I think like the whole thing with her having her own company makes complete sense to me. Like, not in the sense that she's away and running it, but the idea that she's smart enough that she can just set up a company on the internet
Yeah,
and like have it going. Like that ties into what Oracle could do and always has been able to kind of do. So that's all fine for me. As for the plot, so she's in Japan in this issue. She's going to be traveling around Asia as a whole
yep,
through this arc, it seems, and she runs into an old childhood friend that she's not seen in a few years called Kai,
yep.
and
From her days in Chicago.
yeah, and they sort of reminisce a little bit, and Batgirl's in Japan and the first stop on our trip to meet what's the name? Is it Fruit Bat?
Yep, the fruit bat.
The Fruit Bat, which quirky, but not too quirky.
No, I love when DC does this. Like when we get the Great 10, the Chinese Justice League. Like I just love seeing different cultures take on superheroes, and this felt very Watchmen-esque in the way that it's just a lady that donned a suit to go fight bad guys.
Yeah.
You know, there's no mystical thing around here. I don't think she had superpowers, you know. So, but like the whole history on her, I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's always really fun seeing these because it's like another level of legacy as well.
Yeah. Yep.
And, you know, we're all suckers for legacy in this universe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And the fact that Barbara's such a nerd for her was cool.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
'cause that ties into her going beyond Batman. You know, so
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I like that she's like, I used to be in a wheelchair too. I like that line
yeah.
when she brings that up. Cool little moments there. One thing the book does throughout, which is weird, it swaps narration boxes for thought bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, I think narration boxes are generally better, and that's why everyone uses them now. But it did give this book a bit of its own flavour, in its own weird way, because it's keeping that whole youthful feeling to it.
Yep.
You know, as strange as it sounds, having a bubbly like sort of thing that the text is in compared to a box just helps it feel youthful.
I think it was okay because it wasn't overdone. There wasn't like a shit ton of thought bubbles. It's when they're
Yeah.
like in every other panel that it's really
It's a
distracting.
problem.
Oh yeah, if
I
you
remember.
go back to like Golden Age and Silver Age like comics and try and read those with the thought bubbles and the narration boxes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I remember Jeff Loeb saying, you know, narration boxes are meant to be just that, narration. They're not the actual thoughts going on in a character's head. Whereas that's what a thought bubble is. It's how they're reacting in that moment to whatever's going on. So it's not preconceived. And that's how I always like in this generation of comics and writers, you don't see the thought bubble as much because I do think they rely on the art to show that expression instead of them just telling us what's going on in their head.
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason why we don't need as much of that stuff anymore is because the art's better now.
Yeah.
And that's not to insult artists of the past. It's just that,
Oh no.
It's just that it's advanced enough where there is now an art form of showing the expressions and letting the art do a lot of the acting, as opposed to...
most artists are working on one book at a time. Back in this gold and silver age, they were pumping them out like a sweatshop.
Yeah.
So
and you got to remember the printing capabilities were limited as well.
It is, but like Pete said, it's somehow nostalgic while being modern, which doesn't seem to go, but I guess that's Batgirl as a character.
Yeah.
So, plot-wise, some random female villain of sorts tries to attack Kai, because Kai might not be on the up and up. He might be up to no good, as Batgirl suspects. And she has a bit of a fight with her, puts on the outfit and all that, and really fun fight sequence. I like them chasing her through the parade and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and
I really like that in the art too. Is it sees how Barbara's putting it together, how to she's gonna jump here, and then you see that transition. So you can follow it as you read. I thought that was pretty cool.
I actually really like her. There's a few times throughout this action scene where there's just like a panel of her face thinking. Mm-hmm. Like there's one where she's thinking her mouse over to the left again. Excellent mouth work. And on the next page when she sees Fruit Bat like fight this random villain, like her face of like shock and surprise and like amazement is just great. It's like it's really fun to look at because it's like she's excited, so you get excited with her.
Yeah. I really like how after when she's looking back on what Fruit Bat did and like the it's like using her memory and it's kind of like faded a little bit, like the image is like kind of set into the page almost. I really like that touch just to differentiate it as to this isn't happening now. Yeah,
Fruit Bat does her whole or Morpheus moment where she's like, oh, I knew where it was going, I didn't. That sort of like mentor role that you get in movies and stuff. But no, that's fun, and that's just what plants the idea in her head to go train and all that. And we see her pass the poster for the MMA tournament or school or whatever it is. But no,
I think is really just not to jump ahead too far, but there's a really interesting parallel between this and Nightwing. With the whole the mentor stuff. So I think it's interesting for Batgirl and Nightwing to be the ones that parallel that nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll be getting to Nightwing in a bit. But no, I really like this. And of course, that's basically the end. We see that she's going to be going to Singapore to go to this MMA thing, and she's invited Kai to come along with her so she can keep an eye on him. But no, I thought it was a lot of fun. Like, I was sort of smiling kind of the whole time. Barbara's voice seems to be... it's not quite the same as what it was before the Burnside stuff. It's definitely keeping a sort of useful spin on it, but it's a useful spin that doesn't take away from what her character is at the same time. Yeah,
when I first started reading it, I thought I was going to get annoyed by it, just because it seems like it's too snappy. But it was fine as it went on. You get used to it. It's just a different
I get the first few pages or so. It's like it's a little bit to get into, isn't it?
Yep. So, but it all comes together again with the art. I can't praise Albuquerque enough, and Larson works very well, and then you just blend into it, and you don't even notice it at the end. So, I'm really looking forward to see where this goes. I mean, I was already down to see her do a tour of Asia, but now if it looks like we're getting an issue or two, so this time she was in Okinawa, next she'll be in Singapore, as she makes her way. I think that can make for some real cool they're not one-offs because there's going to be an arc, but I feel like they can be. Each issue can have a different flavor.
It's just a shame it's monthly, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, I was just going to say that. It's kind of upsetting.
I'm torn. It's like, it's such a long wait. But then Albuquerque.
It couldn't be Albuquerque on every issue if it was twice a month. So I'll be interested to see what happens when we get to the second arc. Like, is it the Asia thing, like just the first arc, and then the second arc will be back in Gotham doing stuff?
I think it has to be because Birds of Prey said that this was after that first arc, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, but I mean that could still be 3 arcs if they wanted it to be. They could say this lasted a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it was implied in Birds of Prey that this was after her trip to Asia. So we know that she does survive it and comes out different.
It wasn't even applied. It was flat out said. She said that she'd just get back from her trip. So, but no, that's Batgirl issue 1. Really good, really pretty, really fun. So,
Yep.
no, that's good. So that's I'm a loss for words. Mouth work.
I got you. And you're also delaying, so we don't have to get to this next one.
I kind of am actually.
I got you, because I was upset that I had to read it. But
So, flipping to another member of the extended Bat family. And this is Red Hood and the Outlaws Rebirth. Issue 1, written by normally he shall not be named, but he shall be named this once, and that is Scott Lobdell, and art by Dexter Soy. And I will start with positives for this. Now, obviously, we all have our opinions on Scott Lobdell based on stuff he wrote during the New 52. None of us were looking forward to this, but I will start with positives. The art's not bad. The art's quite moody.
I was just going to say, I actually quite like the art. You know, like that second page where Batman's standing over him. I actually really like that page. The way the cape flays out.
I have a very big negative about that page, but I'll get to that in a minute. It's not art related, though.
Oh, okay. The writing of
Yeah.
it was only 22. These are 22 pages, right?
Maybe 20? I'm not sure.
20,
22.
22, whatever.
Yeah.
That was my positive. It was over quick. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. You know, it wasn't an extra long. It wasn't like an annual.
Fair point. I liked the art. Art was pretty good for the most part. And I liked how it was all sort of blacks and reds. Still talking about the art, of course, but, you know, that's my points about the art.
I have one semi-genuine positive about the writing.
Well, I've actually got a positive about the whole book.
Oh, go on.
It's a bit of a backhanded compliment, admittedly, but it's a compliment.
Mine kind of is.
It's not as terrible as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
No, but that's how I got tricked into reading 20 issues of this before.
That's the same thing as me, yeah.
So, like, yeah, it's not as terrible, but it's still not great. And I know you want to get the positives out of the way, but, like, here's how I feel
Look at him! He can't even
Jason
hold
Todd.
it for another minute.
I can't, because here's the thing with Jason Todd. This is just another origin. We got one of these in the last one. It's like he took his script and just changed a few things.
Right, and this was going to be my semi-positive. It's just another origin. There's only so much you can fuck up in Jason Todd's origin story.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. It's like not even just the origin. It's kind of like a just previously in Jason Todd's life, and it's like the whole
it's
thing.
not even. He does nothing to change it. I love the Winnick Jason Todd. The only time I've really been able to stand the character is when Winnick was writing him, and Winnick's the one that brought him back. For those that don't know, in Under the Red Hood, and he was basically set up to be DC's Punisher. Right? He toes the line. He has good intentions, but he'll just straight up shoot somebody because that's how he wants to deal with it. I mean, he was beaten by the Joker and blown up, resurrected. And here, though, just like in the New 52, for some reason, he has this issue with Batman where he just wants to please him.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're looking for Batman's acceptance and you don't have that chip on your shoulder with Jason Todd, then why am I reading it? Because now he's just another Robin protege. And I can read better versions than Damian, Dick, and Tim.
It's true. It feels like he should have moved past that with his, when he died, he kind of moved past that.
Exactly.
And he came back and it was a whole new, fresh start. And
Yeah.
it was for a little bit.
Yeah, because the whole Red Hood story when he first popped up as that was that it was kind of like a revenge thing.
enough.
It was
It's like, I don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
But now
And
it's
that's-
like,
Yeah.
what's the point?
And that's the Jason Todd I like to read. And I got fooled into reading thinking that was coming. And the other Red Hood and the Outlaws had some good moments, but they weren't because of Jason Todd. They were Starfire, like, commanding a spaceship, and Arsenal with his quips, and for some reason wearing a baseball hat as part of his uniform. Which has now become code. But here, this could have just been called Jason Todd Rebirth. And there's two reasons there for a reason, because it's his story. This is not how, like, they set up the Outlaws.
Oh, yeah, there's no Outlaws in
the
this.
The mission's going to be, this is just his origin, like Connor said.
Yeah, there's zero even hint of the Outlaws in this.
Yeah.
Which, you know what, like, the whole origin thing, like a lot of the rebirths have been very sort of, like, recappy of, like, histories, and I think that's fine. I think this one's more guilty of it than the rest, though, because I feel like 70 to 80% of this is just, like, the backstory, backstory, which wouldn't be that much of an issue. It's just, I don't know, but I want to get some specific points that I didn't like, right? Mm-hmm. Cora, you mentioned the page, like, he's stealing the tire off the Batmobile, we get a page where Batman catches him. Batman's dialogue. I want you to just imagine in your head, let's play a game. I want in your head to imagine the voice of Kevin Conroy. Alright, maybe even imagine the voice of Christian Bale, or hell, even Ben Affleck, whatever. Pick your Batman, right? Pick one of those Batman.
Adam West.
Not Adam West.
I can see it as Adam West.
Not Adam West. He doesn't fit this. But listen to Kevin Conroy in your head, and listen to this voice, and read this line in his voice in your head.
Well,
you do realise that's the Batmobile, right?
Yeah.
Imagine Kevin Conroy saying that in your head in the Batman voice.
And that's who I read. When I read Batman, that's whose voice I hear. Is Kevin Conroy. It's automatic anymore. And in fact, I kind of creeped him out at WonderCon by telling him that. So,
wait, how did you phrase it? Yeah. Kevin, I hear voices in my head, and they all sound like you.
Well, I just said you're my Batman, and when I read the books, I hear your voice every time. And he kind of gave me this look, like he was honored, but also like, all right, sign and go, move along.
It's probably like, wait, what does the voice tell you to do, Matt?
I think it was that you were probably like the 3,000th person to tell him that day.
Exactly. But he was still very gracious and nice, but it was a subtle look that I caught,
Is that how you say 3,000th? I've never actually
3,000th.
Because I've never had to say like 3,000 with
I've never had to say it before.
Because I was thinking in my head, should it be 3,000th? Like, you know what I mean? Like, probably not.
No, it's got to be 3,000.
No, because that would be like 3,003rd. Like if it's 3003.
I don't know. I've never heard anyone say 3,000th before.
It's not often you need to say.
Nah. Usually it's like first, second, third, maybe fifth, 10th maybe, and then you're capping out a bit there. Anyway, so that moment, I think Batman's voice there is just completely fucked up. Like, I can't imagine any like proper version of Batman phrasing that way.
No.
But the cape looks cool, so it's fine.
That cape is baller, man.
Right?
And after they have a little fight, right? This is kind of an art complaint, but it's not so much that the art is bad. It's just that they've got Batman doing something that I never expected to see Batman doing, and that is sitting on the hood of the Batmobile with his legs almost crossed, eating fast food. Like, I get Jason
sitting. He's a billionaire. All right, you don't sit on the hood of cars and eat fast food.
Like, he's more dignified than that. Like, I don't have a problem with Batman eating, although seeing him eating the costume's a little bit weird, just because he's not kind of.
Well, I get it. This is a street tough that he's trying to break down.
So. I can picture Batgirl, I can picture Nightwing, I can picture almost most superheroes grabbing a bite while they're still in costume, but Batman doing it feels weird.
I can see it. He always does it with the cowl down, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Pulls the cowl down and then grabs a sandwich.
Clearly, you've never been to a Comic-Con where someone is cosplaying as Batman going to the food court.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
But no, I totally get what you're saying. It's just, it feels off, just like everything that the writer who can't be named writes.
I do have to give it a little bit of credit, though. He did have Batman smile.
At the end?
Yeah,
I agree.
The page, a couple of pages before the one we're just talking about.
I went past that already.
He has some. Are you hungry? With a smile, like, yeah, this kid just tried to whack me with a tire iron. I'm gonna feed him, because that's how you keep strays. Is you keep feeding them. Like,
have you got a better idea of how you do it?
Well, no, you just go. You come with me, and then you surprise them by taking them to Big Belly Burger. Which I assume that's what it was, because that's the go-to DC.
Yeah, that's just, I don't know if I can make out.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it is, but
So we find out that Jason, when we thought he was shooting like the mayor or something, whoever he was shooting, I think it was the mayor.
yeah, it was me.
Yeah.
And it turns out he was just actually putting an antidote in him because he was infected with some sort of toxin or whatever. And he's actually secretly not been killing people. He's just been using harsher methods. So Batman's going to kind of trust him to look into whatever he's investigating. But if he catches any whiff that there's been any fatalities, he'll be in to deal with young Jason there. Is it safe to say that none of us are reading the next issue of this?
Negative. You couldn't pay me. Although if you do want to pay me, hit me up. Here's my Twitter. It's right there. Other side. Other side. Look at mirror. Right there. If you want to pay me to read it, I gladly will.
I love how your integrity just completely shits the bed if someone is willing to pay you.
If you're going to pay for the cost of the book to have me read it, then yeah, it's not coming from my bank account.
Here's the thing.
Well, wait a minute. You need to pay me to read me. You need to pay me to read it, but you're probably going to have to also pay me maybe. I'll read an issue for $20.
Wow, my fee is only 10, so.
Right. Here's the thing. I'm gonna read the first actual issue.
Oh dear.
Just because. No. Here's the thing. I want to know what it's like with the Outlaws.
Yeah.
Like this gives me no indication of the book itself.
None. Because I was told Bizarro was in there and Artemis.
Yeah.
And there's not even any hints of a cloning facility he needs to check out or some rogue Amazon. Nothing.
Oh my god, hon, are we committing here to reading issue one of this?
No, we are not. He is committed.
Okay.
Look, the thing is, I'm gonna read it because I need to see how it is, and this wasn't actively awful enough. It was just bland and boring. But I can't promise I'll have it done in time for the recording with all the other books.
Oh no, you need to. If you're going to read this, we need to get your thoughts on it. Like that's.
Tell you what, all right. I'll take the bullet. I'll do the one issue just to see.
Yeah. I'm not saying you need to do that every week, but for this issue one, you need to do it in time for the podcast so you can talk about it.
I'll take this bullet.
Yeah, that's your punishment actually for missing next week because of your stupid internet. Is the following week you have to come in and.
Oh shit! Is this twice monthly?
Oh no, it's not. Sorry, you're right. It's
Oh,
monthly.
thank God for that. I've got a month to prepare myself.
So I just noticed too that at the final page has Jason putting up the picture of him and Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, I feel like he needs that chip on his shoulder, and here he's looking at him affectionately.
He's got these really weird daddy issues.
Yeah, but he also has the tire from the Batmobile that he clearly didn't steal. So did he take this off another Batmobile?
Yeah, he clearly
It's a
did.
souvenir, right?
Just don't let Bruce Timm near this because they're going to fuck if he does.
I mean,
Oh my god, that's so wrong.
in his defense, Batman has souvenirs.
I get that. It's not the part of the souvenir, but like that's not he didn't get to steal the tire. Batman broke it up before it happened.
So he just stole another one later. Yeah.
He was like, "Well, I'm gonna take this."
You know what? I am really hungry. Just to go back to that page of Batgirl where our stomach's rumbling. That's how I feel right now, and we have 7 more books. So
All right, let's please. The worst of it's over. Now we can get it. Well, not quite, but we can get on to fun books.
yeah, so let's take it on to Detective Comics 937, written by James Tynion IV, art by Alvaro Martinez, and I'm trying to keep a sort of, although the new book's always been at the front, I'm trying to keep a similar sort of structure to the order of the books now. So you're always going to go Batman, Superman at the start. So hence why it's Detective Action at the start of the show. So Detective 937, another solid issue. I don't think it's as amazing as the past issue, but it's not.
But it's showing consistency from Tynion.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. When I say it's not as amazing, I don't think it's actually dropped in quality. I think it's just that this part of the plot's not as exciting as the last issue. So
It's because it's kind of mostly the action stuff, like moving forward, rather than the character beats that we've been getting in the last few.
yeah, and that can still be exciting, of course. But I think there was some good stuff to be had here, though. So we had Batman being captured by what do they call themselves again? the colony, or is that the other? Yeah.
Colony, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's captured, and you've got these two like sort of like runts like going through his utility belt and finding all sorts of random crap, including what looked like a bit of kryptonite. Which cracked me up.
Hope it's lead lined. Really hope that pouch is lead lined.
I'm sure.
I'm sure it is. You know what Batman's like. He's
very considerate, isn't he?
Yeah. He's on the ball.
You guys know how I feel about Batman, but I really love this page. Just the never-ending stuff in his utility belt.
See, this is where I wasn't sure if you'd love this or hate it, because it's like, yeah, sure, they're showing you what's in it, but look how much fucking stuff he has on him.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a running joke how much crap he crams onto his utility belt.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, all the different syringes. Like, come on.
They're just laid out in a row. Like 6 of them.
Yeah. And I think Tynion is self-aware in that. Is that he's like, okay, how can this get ridiculous? Because at first it's like lock picks and his rebreather, which we've seen, and like a laser cutter, the practical stuff. And then you start getting to the different antidotes that he might need at any given moment. Because remember, he wasn't investigating like the Joker or Scarecrow when he got attacked.
Yeah, these are just emergency ones.
Yeah, but who knows what nut job you're going to run into though? Who knows?
Yeah, but I don't know. If you're me, if I'm Batman, I'm not running around with needles in a pouch because.
And that's why you're not Batman, man.
I would keep them in the Batplane or on the Batcycle or in the Batmobile.
I'm with Matt. They don't even seem to have little plastic casings over the needle. They're just like literally exposed. That cannot be hygienic.
It's nice to know that Matt will still keep the trend of naming everything Bat something if he's Batman, though.
Of course.
Well, that's like obligation, isn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't read too much into the syringes not having the things. I assumed they were like, I don't know. Maybe there's little plastic holders inside the utility belt that they actually come out of.
Maybe Batman just doesn't give a fuck about hygiene.
No, he doesn't. Clearly. He spits his tooth out. Okay?
It's not his real tooth. He's put that in there. It's a
Which
plan.
means, so in his training, he's had to lose a bunch of teeth, right? Like,
yeah, I assume so.
So he has a big gap now, and but no, I like that. Again, this book makes me question, not totally question, but my distaste of Batman, because this is what happens when Batman's written correctly, I feel.
When you have some fun with it.
Yeah, because this takes me back to when I started reading comics and like Dini had that run on Detective. And those were like issues of the cartoon brought to life.
Yeah, even when he did that. Even when he done a Hush arc, it was solid
really
fun.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's very tongue in cheek. It's not this serious, which I did like a lot of Snyder's Batman, but it always felt so self-serious. It kind of became a chore to read at points. And here, I can't wait to get to the next page just to see what else is going to happen.
Well, the colony's base is called the Cave because they're sticking with this whole Batman theme thing. The rest of the Bat family are trudging through tunnels and having their banter as they do. And we find out that Tim has used this... So, basically, the backstory here is that they were building a subway system in Gotham, but they built it to the wrong specifications and the trains wouldn't fit, so it was easier for them to build another layer of subway system above it. So Tim has...
I don't know why they don't just carve out an extra 3 inches.
I know, you think it would be, but hey, let's just go with it. And Tim has used this original underground system that has been completely abandoned to build a private network for him and the Bat family to use in their own little bat trains.
Fucking cool as shit.
It is so Batman, it's not even funny. Like in Forever, where he uses he leaves Wayne Tower in that weird pod and he ends up in the Batcave.
Yeah.
It's like, that is so impractical. And then here you turn it and it's the complete opposite.
It's the thing, it's like, that's Tim. He's taken something ridiculous and made it like useful.
Do you know what I like about it though? I like that there is a backstory to it. There was this thing that was already... Because I'm not saying that they could conceivably build an entire subway system. It's already there. And I like that it'll at least help explain in future Bat books, how does such and such get around the city so quick? Well, they've just established they've got
just a little shuttle train.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it's like a Japanese bullet, where it's like fucking that quick? And it's just
looks like it
across the city.
It looks kind of like it. So
Yeah, it does.
it's really cool. It's really cool. Along with the Belfry, which I also really like as a base for this team. They're really building the bat locations in Gotham that are cool.
Yeah.
So Batman's up and about. He's escaped his cell and he's investigating around the old base, sort of like ducking and diving. And he runs into this complete nerd called I hate this name. I can never pronounce it right. Ulysses. There you go. And he's a total nerd who tries to take a selfie with Batman, and Batman basically breaks his arm for it, as he should. Now that's Batman in character, folks.
Notice he doesn't murder him. No, there's no MDK
that's true.
here.
That's true.
No MDK.
No MDK. So this is where we find out sort of the origin of this whole colony thing. Is the what's his face, Colonel Kane, is basically like he's seen how effective Batman is using his methods, but he's combining it with actual soldiers and killing to build this unstoppable army, which is cool because the whole idea that they could beat Batman, and admittedly in a large number, but the reason why they could beat him is because they're using his own methods against him. And secondly, this makes it a deeply personal story for Batman because you really get it. And like after the kid shows him the footage of like this like bat squad getting in and like just snapping necks and shooting people, and like you see the anger in Batman's face, like they're using his sting.
It's like it's his fault.
Yeah, and
they perverted it.
Yeah, that's the word I was going to use. It's perverting his thing. And and there's his arm breaking that I was mentioning. Damn, that's satisfying.
It is. Just, oof.
Yeah, God. And Colonel Kane comes up and blah blah blah. I'm a villain. I'm going to monologue at you, you son of a bitch.
I love that man calls him Uncle Jake.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You know.
That's good. And of course, that's when Batgirl shows up because we didn't mention this, but Tim like tracked them because of signals and shit. Whatever you use. And Kate's basically like, "You think I'm going to pick your side? Fuck everyone, beat the shit out of them." And that's a cliffhanger. Yeah.
Well,
nice
also we got a teaser about the League of Shadows.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They've always just used League of Shadows interchangeably with League of Assassins.
Yeah, but
in Begins it was Shadows because they didn't want to,
yeah,
Assassin sounds a bit goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here they're two different things.
Well, it's not so much that they're two different things. It's the League of Shadows is like a higher up rank or a more dangerous rank of the League of Assassins. Like they're related. It's kind of like I don't know, regular Nazi police and then the SS, if you will.
Yeah. What does he say? Like they're used as like a story to scare the League of Assassins.
The League of Assassins, yeah. So it's kind of like, as Jared put it, the League of Shadows is like the WWE, and League of Assassins is NXT. One day you can achieve there.
Why don't you explain for the audience who Jared
is?
So
Jared's a good friend of mine. He's in the Mild Fuzz group, and he's also
on the Facebooks. I was going to say on Facebook.
On Facebook, and we talk wrestling, and so it was a very apt comparison that didn't sink in until he brought it up.
Yeah, wrestling, which oddly right now is going through a rebirth of its own, which is really weird. But
comics and wrestling, it took me 26 years to realize that comics and wrestling are basically the same thing.
They kind of are in a lot of ways. But it's weird that because not to dive into wrestling talk, but when they did this whole thing this last week, it really kind of felt the same as Rebirth. Where like the continuity's still there, but it's like they're fixing things and it feels fresh. Like, what's going on? This is weird. But yeah,
I'm staying the fuck out of this because I've never watched a single bit of wrestling in my life.
Fine. Hey, there's some good stuff. If you want, Connor, I can point you in the way. Easy and easy. But anyways, no, I like. So again, the whole League of Shadows thing I thought was real cool because, as far as I know, and I'm not a Batman scholar, this is really the first that we've gotten of the League of Shadows in the comics. Because it always just defaults, to Vaz and the League of Assassins.
Yeah, I can't think of any examples. So
it was
nice.
weird because earlier in the issue, you see LOS on the computer,
and you just think.
And I went to League of Shadows because, over the last few years, you kind of that's been ingrained in our minds, and then I realized that's not in the comics, so I kind of threw it out of the way.
Yeah,
and that's like,
What's really cool about this as well, other than building this mythology, is that it means that, okay, we've got the colony for this first arc, but when we get to the second arc, or maybe not even the second arc, maybe they'll put them on the back burner for a few arcs, but this gives us a bigger team of villains to deal with down the line.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I've seen Roz in a while, too, because you gotta assume that Roz is going to be behind the shadows.
You would think, but I mean, we'll see.
So.
But no, yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. No, I like it's just, again, it's Detective just being consistently great or good.
Yeah.
So
it's a really, really solid issue. But it's almost like I'm not as impressed because I'm used to it. But not in a bad way, but it's just, right now I expect this.
This is the standard quality that you expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was great, you know. Bit more Batman one and a bit more Batman focus in this compared to the rest of the team, but that was fine because the last issue was completely team focused and no Batman focused. So
yeah, and he had to uncover what's going on. I mean, the whole thing of him getting out is in character.
Yeah,
so, you know.
yeah, that, and like I said, the whole him like finding this perversion of his whole legacy makes it a bit more personal, which is
good,
really cool.
Because that adds this is like his and Kate's like personal arc.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm looking forward to seeing who's next in that sense.
Yeah, because I think they did say that like the second arc would be like a Steph arc, and then it'd be a Cassandra arc, and then it would be Tim or whatever. Like we'd go through them all.
Sure, we'll get Clayface at some point.
Yeah.
Oh,
that'll be a weird
just
one.
an issue of him going on auditions.
Yeah.
I'd read it.
Yeah, that'll be good.
So like nice character pieces.
Alright, well, that's Detective Comics. That'll take us on to Action Comics 960, written by Dan Jurgens and art by Tyler Kirkham. And I thought this was good. I think this is on a similar, very consistent trend. This might be my favourite of the action issues so far. Just for a couple of little things in here that I really liked. I think, first of all, it breaks the action up a little bit because the fight finally kind of takes a pause.
Yeah.
Because Doomsday decides to fuck off. Although we soon realise the reason why he's leaving is because he senses John and he's going after him.
This is the most compelling Doomsday's ever been.
I agree.
I think it's good because it also adds the emotional. You have a reason to care what he's doing.
Yeah, because we all know, like, we're in Lois and Clark's shoes here. Well, Lois and Superman differentiate from the Clark that's on the scene. But, we know how that ended and why it's such a threat and why Superman's going so, there's a sense of urgency to everything he does. And you can feel that through the story.
Yeah, and I like how the reason why Doomsday senses John is because Superman does well in the fight, and John gets so excited that he smashes all the windows.
Up the windows.
Yeah. And I like that him using his power because he's excited is what draws Doomsday because he senses that there's another Kryptonian.
Yep. And he wants
about.
to.
No, but
I still wish that Jurgens would backdoor a weakness into Doomsday. That's not throwing him into a black hole or to the sun.
They still
we might get it yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope there is, because when they reset, to explain to people that won't know what Doomsday's origin is, and it's basically he's meant to be unkillable. It's like, man.
There wasn't a lot of Lex in this, but I did like Lex basically getting a hard on when he finds out that how Doomsday is basically self-evolving to survive everything.
Yep. Forced evolution.
Yeah, that's such a Lex thing.
Which, if I had to guess now that talking it out, I'm sure Lex will come up with a way to defeat Doomsday. That's not. It's going to be something that Superman can't do.
Which is going to make him
that line.
begrudgingly have to put up with Lex for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should lead some good dynamics.
Mr. Oz is still watching the events, and he's a little bit more commentary. He's talking about how things are developing quicker than expected.
Yep.
Now, there's not a whole lot going on with him now. He's just kind of this mysterious figure who's watching everyone just now, but it's really intriguing because I'm assuming he'll come in maybe the second or third arc, and we'll see that play out a
and
bit
he's
more.
got that staff. He's just carrying it wherever he's at. He feels the need to hold the staff.
To be fair, if I had a staff like that, I'd never let it go.
But just to be clear, Mr. Oz is watching a lot.
Yes.
I'm not saying that he is necessarily someone, but it could be watching.
He's a man and he likes to watch things.
And his name starts with an O and a Z or Z.
Yeah.
I said that the American way first there. Oh,
See?
Yeah, I was just like, oh, that's not right.
The only time it's acceptable is when it's a acronym from an American thing, and it's intended to say within a Z because it makes it sound like something.
What's an example? I can't think of it.
Like I like Easy Allies who do gaming stuff, and their acronym is Easy A, because the whole point is that it's Easy A.
Alright, okay, that works.
Yeah, like obviously say EZA, it doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So that's fair.
Weird.
But it's Zed. But anyway, Wonder Woman in this issue, I thought she was a hoot. I thought she was great in the action scenes. She looked great. Art was pretty good as well, and all that stuff.
I didn't like the coloring on here. It felt like I feel Tyler Kirkham's art should be brighter.
It did look a little saturated.
His art style. Yeah, so it looked, everything was darker, and I get that because it is a war zone because of Doomsday.
Yeah.
But I thought it kind of took his art down a couple points.
But then you get towards the end and they're all out in the green.
Yeah.
I think it looks really nice.
I think that contrast, because like you say, once it gets out, like after they get the sort of destroyed part of the city. But now there's some good panels in here. Wonder Woman and Superman standing side by side. Some of my favourite sort of fun moments in the issue is when Wonder Woman meets John. Actually, no. Before that, when Wonder Woman just finds out that he exists, when Superman's like, "Oh, he's going after my son," and that look in her face, A, good art, but B, just a really fun moment with Wonder Woman, like, son, like, you have a son. Yeah. But all the stuff with Wonder Woman interacting with Lois, I thought was really cool, because Lois being like, "Yeah, this must be weird for you because you and this Clark were a thing," and I like Wonder Woman sort of like, "Nah, it actually feels right," oddly, and I don't know if I should take that as a hint that there's like this like deep down feeling of the world that was like coming in some way, but I'm going to take it as that.
I thought that's what it was. It's all just another one of these little bits like, no, look, it's all right now.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Well, even in Superman, Wonder Woman, and stuff that I got from those arcs, it was like the world was trying to keep Superman and Wonder Woman apart. So it's been kind of there from the beginning, So it was nice that it was addressed here, and I do like what Wonder Woman had said, that, it feels great. Like, you guys are, that makes sense. So.
And the whole thing, we were friends on our Earth. It's like, well, we will be too, Lois. And then John just like sneaking on it, and me too?
Yeah.
I love John. John's quickly become one of my favourites.
Yeah, I really like John. All this was...
The anti-Damian. You like him for the right reasons, whereas you like Damian because he's a little shit.
Which is why Super Sons should be fucking amazing.
It's easily the thing I'm looking forward to most at the minute.
Hurry up and announce a start date, DC. Get on that. But no, all of this was really charming. All this stuff with Wonder Woman and Lois and John, all really charming and fun. I love that it cuts to Mr. Oz watching as Lois asks, "Promise you'll come back," and he says, "Promise." Like, I like that it chooses that moment to show that he's still watching. That it's when it's its most intimate. It cuts to Mr. Oz. So, but yeah, then Doomsday's coming. We get a really nice silhouette of Doomsday and Wonder Woman charging at each other. She ain't going to be intimidated, and that's her.
Hell no, and that's why I love Wonder Woman, because she sees that spiny creature just like, okay, I got a shield.
My question is, why the hell has she not got the cool lightning thing in this arc?
Well, we'll have to find out.
Well, I don't know. Maybe she'll bring it out at some point in the next issue.
Maybe.
She's making a lot of guest spots as of late because she showed up in Hellblazer. She has her own. She has her own book. She's got Justice League. She's here.
It makes some sense.
It's great.
I think partly it's because it's the whole 75th anniversary. Maybe she's just on the mind.
Yeah, they got the movie.
Yeah, all the writers have just got her on the mind.
More Wonder Woman, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
I have to admit though, I do kind of. So I seen this on Twitter, and I think I had this thought at one point as well. But I kind of wish that her book, how they're switching between the two stories, issue to issue. I do kind of wish that they just named them two different things and called the second one Sensation Comics, so that she, as the third member of the Trinity, had the two books. Yeah,
maybe that'll be down the line.
Maybe they'll start a Sensation Comics again at some point. But I just thought it'd be nice.
A Sensation detective in action.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
It would have been nice.
But no, it's Action Comics. I thought that was solid. If you've been liking it, I get that some people aren't as into it, but
I think this is probably the best issue yet, though.
It is. I agree. Alright, so speaking of Wonder Woman, rounding out the trilogy of... the Trinity, Wonder Woman issue 3 by Greg Rucka, and back to Liam Sharp for the present day story. And now, I think Batgirl has a contender or a competitor for best art of the week with Wonder Woman here. Specifically the stuff in the jungle with Wonder Woman and Cheetah. There's one shot in particular. I say shot. I mean panel. You know what I mean? I'm a film guy. What can I say?
It's showing through.
But it's, where is it? Yeah, there's one where Wonder Woman's completely in silhouette as the sun is setting behind her, and Cheetah's in the foreground, and it's when Cheetah says "I hate you." That is a fucking gorgeous page. Like, that is stunning.
I love the page before more though. You know, that bottom panel where Wonder Woman's reached out and she's got a hand on her face, and you can just see all the emotion on Cheetah's face. And it's just it's so good.
Yeah, it's really good because a lot of this issue is basically them verbally sparring about their past, and you get this sense of history, and they used to be friends. And I'm not entirely up on the origin of Cheetah, but it feels like we're going to get all of it through this anyway, just from her wanting revenge on the person who made her completely this way. Whose name I'm not even going to try and pronounce, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So someone else can give that a go. But so
Urs Kataga.
There you go. So basically Cheetah agrees that she'll help Wonder Woman get back to Themyscira if she helps full on kill this guy. And there's a lot of good stuff here. There's almost not a lot to talk about because it is essentially all boils down to that. There's a lot of them running in the jungle, and then some of the followers of Uzabagatika guy. If I had it in front of me,
There's Katanga.
There's Katanga. There you go. It'll sink in eventually, but his followers chasing them, and it's like a proper horror movie moment where they're looking proper vicious and stuff. Really liked all that. Meanwhile, Steve Trevor and his gang of soldiers go off because they're still trying to help this village, and they encounter a supernatural storm, which is to do with getting into this part of the Forbidden Jungle where what's his face? Matt, say it again.
Urs, I guess you have to look at it when I say it.
Kataga.
Urs Kataga.
Yeah, Urs Kataga.
Yeah, him.
God damn it, Rucka. Why you gotta pull these names out?
Please, is it so bad to just have a villain called John Smith? Really?
Or just the Cheetah God. Just make it simple. Right? He turned her into that. But I do like that Wonder Woman's dealing with, lost cultures and civilizations and dark gods. That should be her wheelhouse. So I'm glad that's only taken, 3 issues to get to that.
Yeah.
Well, 2, because I was counting the Rebirth, but...
Yeah, I mentioned the monsters, the followers of
No.
Urza.
There's Kataga.
I'm just going to call him Urs.
There you go.
I'm just going to call him Urs. Urzi. Yeah, Urzi it is. The page of... there's a couple of panels in the corners, but it's basically a full page spread of one of his followers. Well, 2 of them. And they look like werewolves almost, with those things on.
They're hyenas.
And they've got the green light from the green flame that he's holding the torch. That's a really not beautiful page. I just wanted to praise it.
Yeah, and then you got the silhouette down the bottom right. That's just it's fantastic.
Of Cheetah.
Yeah.
Cheetah, who's trying her damnedest to give me some sort of weird fetish.
You do love cats.
No, I'm not into that whole furry.
You're not a furry.
Not a furry business. No.
Not yet, anyway.
I will say
a few more
that
issues of this.
My favorite sequence was where Cheetah's trying to fight being an animal, and Diana wrestles her down, but not in a not like she's trying to win, but she's trying to calm her down. And then they even share that emotional moment about why Cheetah's the way she is, and how she feels like she's always being punished for being herself. And I just thought that was Sharp and Rucka working together, just like Albuquerque and Larson.
Yeah,
we talked about in Batgirl, that just nails the emotion in that scene.
Nah, it's
that was pretty moving.
It's a great issue, and that character play between them is great.
And
of course, the cliffhanger at the end is that the colonel that the Steve Trevor and his men were after, who seems to be working for Uzi, is there, and that's kind of your cliffhanger. They find each other, and
Yep.
Yeah, I just say yet again a shout out to the colorist, Laura Martin, because it's especially when you go from the jungle and you go to Steve Trevor and it swaps from these oranges and greens to these blues and it's just immediately noticeable.
Yeah.
And then the greens kind of fade
Nails it.
back in as they get towards this jungly forest.
Yep.
It's really great.
Yep. It's beautiful. So that's Wonder Woman issue 3. Need to wait a month now for the next part of this present day story.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Well,
We
part-
get
Part 2 of
I know
the origin.
it's this weird double-edged sword thing where I'm like I wish that the pace was going as quick as the other books, but at the same time we get to keep the artist because of this. It's,
The thing is, you do it after every issue because after like the last one, I was like, oh, I want the next one of this now. But then after this, it's like, oh, now I want the next one of this.
That said, so far I'm enjoying the present day story more, but to be fair, that's had 2 issues compared to 1 for the other one, so we'll see. Yeah, I mean, so that's Wonder Woman. That'll take us on to The Flash, issue 3, written by Joshua Williamson and art by Carmine D. Giandomenico. And he's not missed an issue yet, so he's in terms of like keeping on these double ship books for the longest without taking a break, Carmine is doing well. So
I think he is the top Rebirth player so far.
Must have a tie into some kind of force that gives you speed.
Did he not do at least some of the Rebirth issue?
Well, he did.
He did, yeah.
This is like 4. Yeah.
This is 4. That's what I thought. Yeah.
True. Yeah, good point. There you go.
Because Vince Skyver did the actual DC Rebirth.
Yeah.
He had chunks of that. So this is the first time we saw Giandomenico was Rebirth, Flash Rebirth.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's 4 issues now, and
Yeah, that's it. He's using the Speed Force to actually draw the art.
I think he must be.
That's the only explanation for it. It still looks gorgeous. Still wonderful sort of. I hate to use the word cartoony, but it has that kind of fun, playful, angled speed to it, and it's still very great. And of course, the colorist is going nuts with the reds and the golds and yellows and shit, and all of it's really nice.
It's also made me not hate the yellow lines on his suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it plays with them a little bit more, doesn't it?
Yeah,
just because they come alive, even on what's his name, his new partner,
August.
The ones on his suit do it too, which I think is really cool.
Which he doesn't have a cool name yet, as he points out himself in the issue. So last issue ended with the Speed Force storm hitting, and we've got this bunch of new speedsters, and some of them are being petty thieves. Flash and August are cleaning up town. And we had one quick panel of the rogues being like, guys, maybe it's time to take a vacation from Central City.
Yeah. Poor Heatwave, too. That dude needs some cosmetic surgery. Because he's still all burned up.
Yeah.
So the main gist of this issue, though, is that after Barry and August take some of the criminals back to Iron Heights, they meet this, is it Mina, I want to say?
Yep.
Who is helping all the new speedsters train and making sure they're physically okay and it's not affecting them in all sorts of ways.
Through Star Labs too, so that's
and she herself is also now a speedster, and she has the unique speedster ability of being able to tell that there's other speedsters who aren't necessarily showing themselves, because she's saying that not everyone's actually running about doing stuff with their powers. Some of them are actually scared and whatnot. So her and the Flash go to visit a young girl. Whose name I can't remember, and I can't find the page. So, young girl. Someone can jump in with the name when they find it. And they go to see her, and she's terrified because she can't stop vibrating.
Her name's Avery.
Avery, there you go. Yep. So, and they try to comfort her, and Flash has this really sweet moment where he sits down, he's like, right, this is a trick I always use, like count to 5 and say 5 things that you love or whatever. And I thought, it was a really sweet moment. This was Barry getting a chance to... Because Barry's always a nice guy. Like, Barry's...
To a fault.
To a fault. Possibly even more than Superman, to an extent. Like,
which we talked about this last week, where even his... Well, not here. We talked about it
Ultron, Matt. Ultron.
Oh.
That's fine. Skype's holding. It's okay.
Yeah, so we talked about it on 1.21 that Barry's so likable, even his villains kind of like him.
It's just true, yeah.
So, it is to a fault. But, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So, it's a really sweet scene, and them all running, like that page afterwards of them all running together is really, really cool. So, because it's even the narration boxes will all run there together.
Do you know what's really impressive? You add all these speedsters, and speedsters should become less special, dilution. Yeah. But it does. It just feels awesome seeing them all.
Do you know what it is though? It's like he's making Williamson's making characters out of them, and I already kind of like the kid, and I kind of like Mina. Like
yeah, and you like August.
Yeah, and August is cool too. So they're building a supporting cast, like
kind of like he used to have. Weird.
Yeah. Which they're kind of bringing some of those back as well, of course. But like, you can almost see if they build enough cool characters out of this, we could almost have a Speed Force book, and Flash could get a second book.
Yeah,
I'd be down for that.
Where we follow the Flash family that's not Barry.
Right. Well, that's kind of, they always have had a lot of speedsters between Max Mercury and Jesse Quick and but they weren't all Speed Force related.
And they weren't usually all in one book at the same time.
Here's an idea. What if Barry keeps his own double shipping book, right? Mm-hmm. And there's all these new speedsters, but Barry has to go deal with X thing for whatever reason. So he brings in Wally to train new Wally and this young girl in Mina, and maybe, I don't know, maybe we get Jesse Quick back, or
You're describing Detective Comics in Flash form.
Yeah. I know, but I want it. I want it.
Just tell Barry he has to go deal with some Justice League stuff.
Yeah.
We'll call
it's easy.
He has to go out on a date with Jessica.
Yeah, I was going to call it Speed Force, right? But you're right. We have Action Detective and possibly Sensation if they're listening to us. So this should be called Fast Comics. No, right?
Well, he debuted in Showcase.
Yeah, I don't want to call it Showcase. Though. Ask me something comics. Something comics. Showcase Comics. There you go. Done.
See, I don't think that works. Showcase works as this is where you want to showcase up and coming things, like new things.
True.
It works as an anthology almost.
True.
But,
whereas it's something new.
Well, Speed Force Comics then. That works.
Yeah, fine.
Whatever. I don't care as long as it's good.
But also, this is the most also I cared about new Wally.
Yeah, this was fun too. Yeah.
So because he's still a kid from the streets,
Yeah.
So
Iris is hustling the police trying to get information on a case, and new Wally speeds in and steals the file for Iris. Which is the only advancement we get of the whole was it the black something? The
Black
Hole.
There you go. And so that's the one little nudge of advancement. But I feel like they're going to play out throughout multiple arcs, because obviously this arc, which I believe is 8 issues long, this is one of the longer first arcs, is obviously mainly going to deal with Godspeed, who incidentally gets introduced at the end of this issue. And I like that they took time for this. They really set up all these different elements of the Speed Force Cloud and these new supporting characters. And so that's really cool. But they really set up the idea that someone came in and killed these petty criminal speedsters, and August looks like he's not having a good day of it. He might even be dying. I don't know. Probably not, but he's fucked up.
He's been severely weakened.
He looks like he could be, but then you think, Speed Force, he'll be back on his feet.
Yeah, and he was a cop, so he was more adept at dealing with it than these thugs were. But that image, you get a Godspeed and he's posed. Usually I don't like poses, but this one it worked to the advantage.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. You turn that page to that, it's just damn, looks good.
Do you know, we can crack jokes about this, like it being Power Ranger-like, but there's something about the Flash costume where you can do different coloured variations of it, and it works really well. This is a white and gold Flash suit, and it looks awesome.
It does.
So that's cool. It looks great. And then August says he's using the Speed Force as a weapon. Now, I don't know if that means he's just firing lightning at people, like we know Barry can do, or if it's something more new and specific.
Yeah,
I'm inclined to think new and specific, because obviously the Mina has the tracking.
Yeah.
So I'm inclined to think that maybe every single one of these speedsters has their own thing. They've just got to discover it.
And Barry might just be able to do them all if he knows.
Which is cool, because maybe that means that these new characters can be unique if Mina sticks around, if August sticks around. I kind of expect one of them to get snuffed by the end of the arc, but
it gives a reason for them to be all on a team together as well, if they all have a specific ability.
And Speed Force Comics, created by Comics from the Multiverse.
Yeah.
Are you listening, DC? Are you listening?
Also, just again, Godspeed is such a cool name for a Flash villain.
Yeah,
it surprised me that they took this long to come up with it, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Really did. So that's the Flash. Flash was great, wonderfully consistent. Man, we are far too happy. Let's bring down the tone a little bit.
Oh, I know what's coming now.
Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, issue 1. And I didn't hate the Rebirth issue. I thought the Rebirth issue was perfectly fine. Certainly it was the weakest thing I'd read that week, but it was, it was fine. Whatever.
Doesn't have that honor this week, does it?
Nope.
No, I felt like Hal beating up this random group of criminals looking for information didn't really amount to much. Sinestro goes back to full power.
Oh, that reminds me. I wasn't here when we covered this. Did anyone know why Sinestro was all old?
No.
Because
wasn't just
Venditti.
Right,
No.
yeah, okay. Because last I saw him, he was young, and then
Yeah, he recaps everything that happened except for why he's old man Sinestro.
Yeah.
And then also here they drop on us that Sornik isn't a GL anymore. She's
I think that
somehow
happened in the
shaped-
Sinestro comic.
yeah, but at least give us a half a panel or whatever.
You know what? Yeah, give me 2 narration boxes saying she
Yeah.
used to be a Green Lantern, but now for this
And
reason she's this.
She actually did what Sinestro wanted to do, and I feel like because I do love the Green Lantern universe, I've just been out of liking it for a little while now. But the fact that Sinestro always wanted the yellow to become a source of order within the universe, in this, she's done that. And it's kind of like, well, wait, so he gets repowered and that makes him
Yeah.
evil cackling Sinestro again? Like,
And then at the end of the issue, he seems to just want to change his mind and be like, right, everyone, instill fear.
Yeah.
Unleash the fear.
I don't get it.
I feel like this is just continuation of Venditti,
Yeah.
whatever he was doing in Green Lantern, whereas Green Lanterns is all new.
This
stuff.
is kind of another New 52 situation, isn't it? Where John's just carried the fuck on and ignored the new changes, and
But-
Venditti's done the same.
Well, in this case, though, it's more of a problem because we didn't like the previous.
Well, yeah.
Well,
So-
that's why they kept Batman and Green Lantern, because they were two consistently well-regarded books, right?
Yeah.
Both in sales and critically. Can't say the same about Green Lantern. I mean,
Yeah,
I didn't think it was that highly thought of at all.
yeah.
yeah, in this iteration, not at all. So yeah, Sinestro monologues about bringing fear to the universe. Hal feels the power of fear halfway across the universe.
Which that makes sense. He has a link to Parallax, but then again,
Yeah.
so should Kyle and anyone else who's at Parallax.
Well, to be fair, Kyle's missing in action,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning there is plans for Kyle at some point, but he's not one of the Green Lanterns right now, so they're keeping it a mystery. So whatever. Right, the big problem I had with this issue, beyond it just being kind of mundane and not really liking what was going on, is at the end it almost got interesting. Right, there was a spark of almost interest because we cut to a random point in space. This green flicker of light happens, and the Green Lantern Corps, John Stewart, Kilowog, Guy Gardner, the whole Corps show up.
Aricia.
Right. And I was thinking when this happened, oh wait, right, so maybe this could get interesting because this is like flashing back to where they disappeared to.
No.
Like they're going to explain where they were. We're going to see what was happening during that time that they've been missing for whatever reason. And then John Stewart says, I think we're home. Alright, so this is just them magically appearing again.
Yeah.
Well, it's following on from that Edge of Oblivion mini, isn't it?
Yeah, but he did the big writing mistake of, boy, that was an adventure. And then now we're just going to move on.
Yeah, because I didn't read that mini.
Yeah.
Neither did I.
Right, so
and
I have no
got
idea what the hell
excited for
happened.
that.
I
Thinking it came out at the same time as Poison Ivy. So I thought, this is going to be a miniseries that stands alone. And no, it just continued whatever their story from Green Lantern Corps was.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I
didn't go on past the first.
yeah, them showing up at the end was almost exciting, and then I realised, they just appeared for no reason. And I just,
Well, the thing is, there might have been a reason at the end of the mini. We just don't know it.
oh yeah,
Of
there might have been,
course.
but like,
But I don't know. Out of all the things you cross over, we've seen, multiple Barry and Wally meetings.
Yeah.
Show us the end of Edge of Oblivion, and then have them from their perspective. Instead of here, we're on a static camera. If this is a movie, and they just pop into existence.
Do you know what's even more surprising? There's not even an editor's note telling you to go read Edge of
No.
Oblivion. We're okay because we know that's where they've been. And if we
So-
want
Well,
to
hold
read
on.
that story, we can.
I wouldn't quite sure say we're okay because we're calling up that okay.
No, what I mean is we're okay that we know where this story took place if we wanted to go
yeah, I
and read
suppose,
it.
yeah.
But people who are fresh to this and haven't been following, there's not even an editor's note to tell them, oh, if you want this story, go and read
Right.
Edge of Oblivion.
And that's where I am as a Green Lantern fan. I want to know what's been going on. It would have been nice, but I've always still had my eye kind of on that thing. That's not every fan, So I just between Green Lantern, which I know is not everyone doesn't like it as much as I do. Green Lantern's kind of in shambles right now, and that saddens me.
Yeah, I mean, Green Lanterns is much better than this. It's rough around the edges, but there is stuff to enjoy in the core of it. Whereas this, I'll say it. This is my last issue of this. I am now dropped of GLC.
Yeah.
Until there's another shift in creative.
Yep.
It's a shame because again, it's another book that's not bad. It's just bland.
Meh.
But which a year ago might have been acceptable, but in this current
Well,
lineup,
that's this whole thing,
that's not.
Whatever he has planned is so magnificent you couldn't, take him off of it and have him come back later. Writers do that all the time.
Yeah.
This is the opportunity to refresh the Green Lantern. I mean, that's what they're doing with Green Lanterns. You're getting Baz and Jessica Cruz. And here, you're just going to keep redoing everything. We get Sinestro back doing what Sinestro does, and I
don't understand why Sinestro. Why not do something different? Do something new.
Yep. Actually be a hero and keep order in the
Even
universe.
just show me some of this stuff with Sarnik.
Yeah.
Give that some stuff. I don't know why. He was an old man. It felt like he'd moved on.
Or at least give the scenes that he has in this issue to showing that change of opinion. Why is he changing his mind about this? Why is he doing this now? Give us that arc,
But no, they can't.
So is this the first thing all three of us are dropping? Is this completely dropped?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's the thing. Even at least with Red Hood, I can go, well, I don't really know what this book is like, so I can try that. This is the first actual issue. That's it.
Just think though.
Yeah.
Just think though. Red Hood's actually surviving longer than another book because Connor's reading one more issue.
Well, it's 2 issues of both. It's a rebirth and one issue.
I suppose.
So-
Yeah, we did that with this. I mean, I'd already made up my mind on Red Hood, and I had made up my mind on this as soon as I saw Venditti's name.
Pretty much,
So
but we gave it a shot. We tried it, and
the old college try.
so that's Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps issue 1. So that'll take us on to Nightwing issue 1, which now I won't spoil it, but I needed the scene in this of Dick and Barbara on the bridge. This scene alone, I mean, not that the rest of the issue was bad. The rest of the issue was great. There was great stuff throughout. Dick's voice is down great. There was a lot of fun, but the scene on the bridge with Dick and Babs was this is the heart. This is having them talk about their relationship again, and even that funny it was almost like a Joss Whedon scene changing joke where he says, "Oh, I need to go meet Babs before I leave for Russia," and Damien's like, "Oh, you're gonna date with Barbara, right?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, it's not a date." And then it cuts to the bridge, and he's there in a suit, and he's like, "It's not a date." And then Babs, equally adorable, is like,
Yeah.
"This isn't a superhero thing." Should I go change? I love it. I love their chemistry in this scene, and I needed this. I needed this after that stupid fucking Killing Joke movie, which I won't spoil. But if you know the controversy, you'll know what scene I'm talking about and why it upset me.
It's nice that we've had 2 books this week where Barbara's an actual character
Yeah, it's great.
and not just fawning over something just because. And no, here she's not in it very much, but when she is, they make the most out of it.
Yeah, she has great chemistry with Dick. It really speaks to their relationship. I'm glad that this is a thing going forward now that we know they have feelings for each other. Even if they don't do the whole couple thing, even if we don't, this can be a constant thing that's there in the background that they have this connection.
Even I think that was showing up every so often in the New 52 towards the end, in Grayson. I know she showed up in the annual.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
they had that whole thing. That was really cool.
Yeah. Speaking of fun, Dick shouting advice while Damien's training with Batman, and Batman gets punched because Dick distracts.
They're really giving Batman the Didio treatment here because everyone's taking shots at him.
But Joe, the great thing is that Batman can take it.
Yeah.
He can withstand every blow you throw at him. It doesn't really matter, which is the great thing about it.
Also, Damien's still playing Cheese Viking. I need to play this game.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not
it's two
real.
of my favorite things.
It's not real, Matt.
What?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Well, not yet. True. Someone will make it.
So you're telling me I've played Space Paranoids from Tron, but I can't play Cheese Viking? This is horseshit.
As of yet, there's no Cheese Viking. Maybe you can play Volgar the Viking, although I believe that's shit hard, but
Yeah.
you can give that a go. Now, stuff I really liked from this scene, though, is Batman being like, Jesus, Dick, stop asking me for things. You're your own man. You don't need me to tell you how to do
Yeah,
everything.
but this is where I have issues because Batman. Batman is notoriously trying to help, and now when someone needs help, he's like, "Hey, you're on your own."
Well, no, I don't see it quite like that, because he's not actually asking for help. He's not, like, if Dick needed Batman's help in a fight because the odds are too stacked, Batman would be there minute one. But for me, this isn't that. This is Dick being unsure of himself and saying, "Is this okay? Is this going to work?"
Yeah, see, I just feel like there should be that parental relationship, or even older brother.
When you just said, Batman tries to help, I think this is him trying to help. He's trying to help Dick realize that he doesn't need him, because he's aware of that.
Well, he's pushing him out of the nest, and I get all that. It's just his attitude about it, where he had Dick go undercover in a spy ring to find out what's been going on, and he comes to him just for a little bit of advice, and he's like, "Hey, you're on your own, man," you know. So, which I'm sure he's not going to leave him hanging in the future, but I just felt like the characterization was extra dickish, and not in the good Dick Grayson way.
To be fair, he did just get punched in the face because of Dick.
Yeah, it's true.
So
by his 12-year-old son.
Yeah.
Yeah,
13 now.
Perspective.
Yeah, little grudge. He's a little pissed at him right now. So,
You also can see it as Dick getting revenge on him for knocking his teeth out in the Court of Owls stuff.
That's true.
That's true.
So,
don't get me wrong, the Batgirl scene was definitely the highlight of the issue, but that scene, I enjoyed that too.
I loved this issue. The whole thing with setting up a new villain in Raptor.
Yeah, Raptor, who's
not a villain but an antagonist.
Yeah, so to encapsulate the plot here, Dick's undercover, pretending that he's doing the bidding of the Parliament of Owls, but he's secretly kind of working on the inside to eventually take them down. But he's assigned a partner by them called Raptor for this mission in Moscow that he basically does himself, and then Raptor shows up and like starts fighting him at the end, and taunts him and says all things and makes fun of him because he's got a souvenir for Barbara, which by the way was also really sweet. Like I like seeing that, and then him like grabbing it so that it didn't get smashed in the fight.
Yeah,
also really cool. But yeah, Raptor's a dick. Seriously, like he's not the dick. He is a dick.
Yeah, and I'm feeling that Grayson's giving the old rope-a-dope here because he's taking him off his game, because there's no way a kick or a punch to the gut drops him like that, you know?
Yeah, it's like, what was he calling me? Because I'm a pining, impotent virgin. Like,
yeah,
virgin. All right, that's a normal insult to throw at someone, but impotent.
yeah, no, he's a Twitter troll, because that's the type of shit that gets thrown around there.
It's pretty inventive, though. To be fair, if you're coming up with an insult on the spot in a fight, not gonna lie, it's not bad.
Impotent. That's
yeah. Also, I like
personal.
I like Grayson saying that a group of owls is actually called a parliament. And he's like, it's like a murder of crows.
I did not know that. I've learned something from this issue.
I did too.
Yeah. Well, he's also, I like when he names other groups of birds and they're not as intimidating. He's like, I gotta go take out the gaggle of geese.
Yeah. Which is funny because, owls themselves are probably some of the least, like,
social.
You're scared of a hawk coming down and, or something big like that.
I'm afraid of all birds, Pete, so.
I don't know. If you get like a budgie, you can hit that with a baseball bat quite happily.
Again, we know what Pete does on his weekends now.
I think what he does is he hits them with the baseball bat, and the cats have to leap up and get them.
It's called Bird's Ball.
Yeah, it's a sort of version of Fetch. The cats quite enjoy it. Cats quite enjoy
And
it.
then they get a tasty snack.
Yeah, tasty. But no, I really love this issue because it balances. It feels like Grayson continued. It's got the humor. It's got the action. It's got stakes.
It's someone who fell out of Grayson, partly because Convergence, partly because I'm not big on spy stuff as well. I think that was kind of a roadblock for me. I really like this issue as well. I thought, I liked the voices in the Rebirth issue, but of course it was dealing with a lot of cleanup, a lot of house cleaning of stuff that was sort of still left over from Grayson. This issue, I was fully on board with and really enjoyed.
I think it is a really great issue because, like Matt said, it is just feel like Grayson for those of us who read it and enjoyed it, but it just feels like Nightwing, how it should be for people who didn't. It does both excellently.
Yes.
Yeah, it feels like Dick Grayson, and he's in the black and blue, and great. So that's Nightwing issue 1, and that leaves one final book to talk about. And that is Titans issue 1, and it feels... This is the thing, this is the first monthly book we've had a second issue of, and it feels so long.
Like an eternity.
Because we're so used to these double shipping books now with all the other ones.
I feel spoiled. Just got so used to it, and it's like, oh, this is what it's usually like.
So, Titans issue 1, written by Dan Abnett and art by Brett Booth. We get 2 or 3 pages, just recapping everything, just in case, because it is an issue 1. So just in case you've not read the Rebirth and you've not read whatever, Matt's offended by that for some reason. But for the audio people, he got up and left there. But anyway, so recapping things. Although, give you a couple of little tidbits that you didn't get before, like the moment where he changed his suit, which was a nice little touch, because he actually made a point of doing that. But it all counts down to him saying, "I'm Wally West, I'm the fastest man alive," and we get the big title page where it says "The Return of Wally West, Part 1." And I'm like, yeah, that's a good title for an arc.
Yep.
But no, I really enjoyed this issue as well. I think if you're a fan of Wally, particularly the fact that Lilith tries to get into his head, because that's her power, she can go into his telepath. She goes into his head. She's like, right, clear your mind. Let me try and see if I can find more clues as to who did all this, who erased their minds and all that. And it just goes to that full page where he almost looks slightly embarrassed, and she's like, "Who's Linda Park?"
Yeah.
And a bit of a grin, don't you?
Yeah. And I'm like, yes, they're bringing up Linda this quickly. This is fantastic. They're not pulling punches here. So no, I really like this and him explaining it and all that. And I really like that we actually jump over to Linda, and that Linda's actually going to be a supporting character, at least for this first arc.
Yep.
And she brings up the stuff that happened in that Rebirth one shot. She's like, this guy appeared out of nowhere. He said his name was Wally West. He said we were together once. It was weird. I don't know, but I'm trying to be a journalist, so me scooping this story will probably be a big deal. So damn it, I'm finding out who this fucker is. So
I like how she differentiated that she's, she is a writer. She's trying to be a journalist, but right now she's a blogger, which is just below everything else. So I like that it showed her character there, that she is striving for more, and she isn't a fully formed Linda Park that we all know.
But you feel like give it a little bit of time. We're getting where we
can get there.
I feel like the moment she remembers, when she gets that spark where she remembers everything, she'll basically just turn into Linda Park that we knew.
She'll be really upset about her kids, though.
She is, yeah. But again, we will get to that. Maybe the next event we'll get the kids back.
Maybe
we'll work on it. But that stuff really tugged at the heartstrings, and I really like that they're dealing with that. Arsenal and Donna Troy got a little action scene where they go off and try and find some intel so they know where to go. But meanwhile, Lilith keeps trying to dig into Wally's brain. Also, I love the fun nature of this book. Arsenal bringing pizza back in, and Wally using his super speed to go grab a slice and come back and still talk to Lilith without pausing. Was really great. See here's a superhero who I can see eating in costume, and it's not stupid. Wally West, I can see eating some pizza in costume.
This is part of the problem. I don't see Batman eating either. So like he's.
No, I see him
It's 'cause-
eating, but I see him eating in like a suit at a dining table with like candles.
But you don't see him eating. You always see him slapping food away from Alfred. Like, go
Yeah.
away. I don't want this
Alfred's always trying to feed him, and he ain't having
Yeah.
none because he's got his protein bars in the
Yeah,
Batmobile.
exactly.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm almost buying that Batman just got like he's built it into the suit that it just like puts it in his skin. Like,
I can
all the
believe
time.
he's developed like the meal pills.
Yeah,
He just lives on those.
And and he's just sitting on him because we're not worthy of it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so Lilith digging, and then she's like, "Wait, I think I found something that I wasn't supposed to. We have to go to Keystone right now." And I'm intrigued. I'm like, "Wait, what is she uncovered? Like, what's going on here?" And then we get this really cool, like 4 pages at the end that brings out Abracadabra. Like he shows up.
Yeah.
And he transports this like kid's birthday party to the moon, and they all of them almost die because they're in space for like 5 seconds.
To be fair, he wanted to go to space for his birthday.
True,
He did just
Africa gave it to him.
be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
but I really like this. I like that it's a Flash villain, one that Wally dealt with, and I like that. Like we've got Linda. This feels like the Wally West book with the rest of the Titans like supporting.
Yeah.
I was going to say that as well. It also feels intrinsic links to Flash because while we're doing the Linda, you see the stuff about the lightning storm.
Yeah.
It's like it feels very much like a partner book to that.
Yeah, which is great.
It's all the universe is all connected again.
Yeah,
So that's good.
it's great, and I'm all for Abracadabra, and this is
Mr. Hocus Pocus. What was I thinking? When
Yeah.
I came up with that name?
I think
It's
my
got a
favorite
humor
bit-
to it.
My favorite bit with Abracadabra is when they come back from space. And it's like,
Yeah.
you weren't going to die. How can you tell people if you're dead?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is also it just shows me that the Flash villains, you have Zoom, who's nuts, and I can't think of some of the other ones, but like the rogues themselves, it's very much cops and robbers with them that they're playing their part. The Flash will play theirs.
I love that he was triggered because like the secret's in Molly's mind, and like Lilith found it and it like did
Covered
this.
it.
I love the line when he first pops back up. He's like, "Yes, I'm fine. In fact, I just remembered something. It all came back in a flash."
Yeah.
Like he's remembering stuff proper
Which-
now.
Which who put him there?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a
and-
very
You
good
know?
question.
And also, don't forget, Abracadabra is from the future, so it's not actual magic; it's technology that we haven't developed yet.
Yeah, it was. Although there was at one point he did get actual magic from
Yeah.
someone. Was it a demon or something? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But so I don't know if is he actually using magic now? It
Yeah,
wasn't. It
we
wasn't
don't know.
originally.
It's hard to tell, to be honest.
Yeah, because originally, he came from the future and he was just using like really advanced scientist stuff to make it look like he was using magic. But then he did actually get magic from someone. So
Right, and then you add that into Mr. Twister and whatever that was trying to be summoned
yeah,
throughout Titan's Hunt.
but if it's tied to Wally, hopefully he's out for vengeance, and this all
Yeah.
builds for a nice arc. And I'm still pissed that this is only once per month.
It's so infuriating.
But that was fun. I mean, I think if I've got some negatives, yeah, the art's kind of hit and miss because it's Brett Booth.
Brett Booth.
It's
But,
acceptable, though.
Yeah, you can do way worse than right now than what he's doing.
Yeah.
It could be rushed Brett Booth.
It's never offensively bad.
No.
So, no, I enjoyed that. I don't think it was too high on the rankings, which we're about to get to.
Yeah.
But the fact that our standards like so good that we have like 7 that are all really good, and then 2 that are kind of obviously
This is a fucking hard week.
it is a hard week. And with that said, we're about to do top 5s. So, would anyone like to try and go first?
I will, just because before I do my top 5, I want to throw out, people should be reading Dr. Fate. It's awesome. It didn't Rebirth, but it took the Rebirth sensibilities with the adding in old Dr. Fate, and it's cool as shit. Read it. But
Okay.
Doctor Strange
yeah.
Jace.
There's 2 fates, so it's cooler.
Yeah. Major Jace.
Right.
Get to it, Ginger.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Number 1, I'm gonna go with Nightwing because it's just too awesome. Second, I'm gonna go Batgirl. Third, Flash. Fourth, Detective. Fifth, Wonder Woman.
Right.
I
Cool.
think.
Cool.
It's hard, After one, like three, like 2 through 5, there are a bit like, I could change them again.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, this is a tough week because, like Pete was saying, the bottom 2 are really noticeable. But coming up with the top 5, so I'm gonna put Nightwing at the top 2 because I love that book, and then Batgirl because Albuquerque on art, and I love Albuquerque, and then this was good. Wonder Woman, I'll go because that was fantastic. I'll have to go Detective and then Action. So look at that.
Wow. Okay. I'm also going to put Nightwing issue 1 in the top spot. I'm also going to put Batgirl in second place, so that's like 1 and 2 is the match between all 3 of us.
And it was really because I think we talked Nightwing so much later than Batgirl because I could swap those at 1 and 2. So.
I maybe could. I think it was the scene in the roof for me that cinched Nightwing going to number 1. Number 3, I would also go with Flash. So I'm matching Connor so far, which is a really icky feeling. And then Detective.
You gotta make the 5th one unless you might become Ginger if you match up.
I know,
but he kind of wants to, doesn't he?
I know he does. It's his list making. He is the list master.
Honestly, I can all. Yeah.
Integrity of the list, Pete.
It has to be Wonder Woman. No. This is painful. Why did it match Connor's exactly? I don't.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
My God, that's the first time we've had point for point crossover.
Yeah.
Not to this Action or Titans.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like I could have had Flash on my list instead of Action, but I like the stuff that happened in Action so much. So it was a solid week for comics, barring Hal Jordan and Red Hood.
Yeah. I really like both of those, but Flash for me, it was my favorite issue yet by far.
Yeah, I
It
agree
kind of
with
bumps
that.
it up like an extra slot, maybe.
I think it's the best issue yet as well. I think Action had its best issue yet. I think Flash had its best issue yet. And Wonder Woman is debatable, but like certainly as a whole, like there's a lot of good stuff there. So that leaves me to tell you what's coming next week, when Connor's not here.
Hold on to your butts.
So next week we have 2 new books once again. We have Harley Quinn issue 1, and we have Suicide Squad Rebirth issue 1. So a lot of Harley next week. So we'll see how that fares with us. And then on top of that, of course, we also have Aquaman issue 4, Batman issue 4, Green Arrow issue 4, Green Lanterns issue 4, Justice League issue 2, Nightwing issue 2. That's switching to the other batch a week, so because of that, we actually get 2 issues of that in a row.
Getting a double dose of the dick.
Yeah, double dose of dick. I'm tempted to call it something, and I'm not going to.
I did exactly.
It's poor taste. It's poor taste. I'm not going to do it. And then, of course, wrapping up is Superman issue 4. So we have 9 books again next week. Exciting stuff. So a lot of good things there. Are we excited for Harley and Suicide Squad?
No.
Yes. And somewhat no.
I'm weirdly kind of. I'm not against them, but I'm not for them. I am completely neutral on these. They have every possibility to impress me or disappoint me.
I really liked what I've read of Harley of the last. I read like the first 15 issues out of the 30. I'll probably catch up the rest of them this week.
Right. Okay.
But I really like it, so I'm looking forward to that. Suicide Squad is like, maybe.
I've never been someone who's typically read a ongoing Harley book. So I'll see if it ends up being fun. If they play with it in the right way, cool. It does have the danger of just feeling like DC's Deadpool, and if it feels like DC's Deadpool, that'll be when I quickly.
Yep. The most I ever like Harley is when she's with Catwoman and Poison Ivy.
Oh, I definitely agree with that.
Gotham City Sirens by Dini was great, and then even when Harley pops up and
stuff in Sirens isn't that bad. I know.
Oh dear.
Shh, don't say the name.
I know.
It's like Beetlejuice, he'll appear, and you don't want that.
No.
I don't know. If you make him appear, you can kill him.
Don't. And once that genie's out, you can't cork it back in.
All right.
Anyways.
Well, I think that'll neatly wrap up episode 10 of Comics from the Multiverse. This has been episode 10. So Thank you everyone who's been watching and are listening. We appreciate it a lot. As always, let us know what you thought of the books. If you're on YouTube, in the comments below, I do always enjoy reading everyone else's thoughts and what they're liking and stuff. You can also tweet at us at mailed_fuzz, and you can email us, mailedfuzz@gmail.com. I have to think about what the other option of contact was there.
Obviously, there's the Facebook group we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, Facebook group, Mailed Fuzz. There's not an easy to find web link, it's just a bunch of shit code. So just go to Facebook, search Mailed Fuzz. You can see my name as the administrator. Really obvious that it's us. So dive in there. It's a nice private group for private comics talk and other stuff. I made that sound a lot more ominous and weird than it should have. I didn't mean it to, but there it is. We'll take a second to plug our friend Tim Vergulish's Kickstarter for his comic Veterinary Clinic. It's a horror comic, if you like humans and animals bonding in a horror setting. It should be for you. It's also worth mentioning that it officially passed its goal this week, so it's definitely happening. If you're someone who's like, I don't know if I want to back in case it falls through. No, it's happening. So go and back it, give them some more money, and enjoy it. You can find that on Kickstarter. That's Veterinary Clinic. So, a Veterinary Clinic. I see, I sort of mumbled it the first time. I'm just making sure it's clear for everyone at home. All right. And if you are listening to this while you're out in the move and the audio version, that's cool too. Give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe, all that jazz. If you're not at home listening to it, if you're out and about, that's fine. If you're exercising, that's fine. If you're driving, that's fine. If you're playing Pokemon Go, that is not fine. This is not a Pokemon Go sanctioned podcast.
It's more than fine. Go out, catch something cool. And
I have some stupid Zubat today. I was pretty pissed.
No, we're not doing this.
Annoying.
We're not fucking doing this. Shut your mouths.
Sorry,
we're not
I got
doing
a cool
this.
shit ponytail.
We're not doing this.
Oh, I caught like 4 of those. It's fine.
Well, they're rare by me.
Yeah. You think they'd be more because like there's a lot of gingers where you are and they have red fire hair, so
It's too much competition.
Anyways.
This has been Comics from the Multiverse, episode 10. Thank you so much for watching or listening. And always remember, guys, never get caught in the Speed Force.
Long live the Legion.